अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। आज यहाँ ईद उल फित्र की नमाज़ अदा की गई। नमाज़ अदा करने के बाद वहीं मस्जिद में ब्रेकफास्ट करके घर लौटे हैं। मस्जिद में ब्रेकफास्ट का इंतज़ाम हुआ करता है। वहाँ जाने वाले नमाजी कुछ न कुछ मस्जिद को ले आते हैं ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए। हम भी यहाँ से मकरूनी बनाकर ले गए थे और इसके अलावा अज़हर के दोस्त अहबाब वग़ैरह भी कुछ न कुछ नाश्ते के लिए बनाकर मस्जिद को लाए थे। नमाज के बाद यहाँ रहने वाले कई लोगों से मुलाकातें हुई और उसके बाद नाश्ता यहीं हुआ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। और उसके बाद हम घर लौट आए हैं। मस्जिद की तमाम तस्वीर मैं आपकी जानकारी के लिए भेज रहा हूँ। देखिए अटलांटा की क्या हालत है। यहाँ अरब भी हैं और अजमी भी हैं। उन लोगों के दरमियान भी अच्छी खासी दोस्ती है, कोई बैर नज़र नहीं आता है। आज इमाम साहब से, दोनों इमाम साहब से इस मस्जिद के, और एक अमेरिकन भाई से और कई लोगों से मुसाफहा मुआनका हुआ। मुबारकबादी के पैगाम एक्सचेंज किए गए। इन तमाम तस्वीरों को मैं आपको भेज रहा हूँ। देखिए ये तस्वीरें आपको यहाँ की कहानी सुनाएगी। और कल हिंदुस्तान में इंशाअल्लाह ईद मनाने वाले हैं। मैं आप तमाम लोगों को ईद उल फित्र की मुबारकबादी देने में खुशी महसूस कर रहा हूँ। अच्छा तो दोस्तों, भाइयों, अब इन तस्वीर को देखिए जो मैंने मस्जिद में उठाई हैं और उनसे आप अख़ज़ कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ के हालात कैसे।
अल्लाहु अकबर, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अल्लाहु अकबर वलिल्लाहिल हम्द, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर वलिल्लाहिल हम्द, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर वलिल्लाहिल हम्द, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर।
नहमदुहु व नस्तईनुहु व नस्तगफिरुह व नऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिन शुरूरि अंफुसिना व मिन सय्यिआति अअमालिना। मन यहदिहिल्लाहु फला मुदिल्ल लहु व मन युद्लिल फला हादिय लहु। अशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाहु वहदहु ला शरीका लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। व बाद فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. عباد Allah, alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this best day of Eid. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in good in this life and good in the next. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he reminded the companions of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he reminded them how we are in need of Allah azza wa jalla. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to the companions when he said, Atiru Allah, atiru Rasul, obey Allah and His Messenger, and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your actions and your statements. In this month, the month of Ramadan, it has shown all of us how to truly love Allah Azza wa Jalla. And it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has brought us all together at this point right now. We are together only because Allah decreed it. And we're not together because of where we come from, but it's because of Allah Azza wa Jalla and because of the deen of Islam. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, the most blessed thing that Allah Azza wa Jalla has ever given to every single one of us in this room is that He sent down the Quran, and it was sent down to soften your heart and to guide you. Because this is the only book on the earth that falsehood cannot come close to it, behind it, or anywhere near it. It is the blueprint of your life. Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed the Quran to guide you. And without it, you will surely be lost. Everything inside of it is the haqq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the truth. And it was given to all the prophets, and it led them all to Jannah because they follow the book of Allah. This Quran is a light for you in this life and also in the grave. The Quran is something that all of us need to implement in our lives. Allah revealed it so that you can do what? So that you can implement it. Not just recite it, but to implement it. Allah has given us a great favor. And in our faces that it is to have a smile that Allah has given us to be happy during this time, especially during the month that we just passed, that you have achieved something that is very great. This blessed day of Eid is a time for us to remember one thing. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He forgave many of us. And this is the time for us to forgive our brothers and our sisters for whatever we have differences between each other. Forgive your brother and your sister. This month should have shown us all how to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in Allah Azza wa Jalla, He's shown us that He's favored this religion. For you, this day, He's favored this religion. And as we know, the shaitan, a'udhu billah, has been released. Allah locked him up for 30 days, and He released him. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from that. And so with the shield that we had in the month of Ramadan, we still need to use that shield. And that we do not go back to our old negative ways, our bad ways. And if you didn't learn anything during this month, then you should have at least learned to be generous. At least learn to be generous. And if you didn't benefit anything, the loss is your own. Now, we must understand that we should be sure about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives, and Allah is the one that takes. And there is no one who can forgive you. No one can forgive you with a mountain of sins except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has forgiven many of you during this month. The month of Ramadan has passed, but you should have benefited a lot from it. And this day is a day for you and your brother and your sister, that you should hug your brother, love your brother. Any hatred, any harm that's in your heart, you need to remove it. Because this was a month that Allah had trained every single one of us. It was a time for us to wake up and understand who Allah Azza wa Jalla is. The month of Ramadan came as a friend and it left. And now we move on to the next 6 days. But the thing of it is that you have to understand one thing, is that if you go back to your old ways, then you have not benefited from the month of Ramadan. The month of Ramadan was a ni'mah from Allah. It was a favor, a blessing. Because why? Many of our brothers and sisters, they did not make it. You made it. Allah allowed you to make it. And now it's up to you to continue what Allah has given you. He's given you the best. Every single thing in this life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it to you as a mercy and a rahmah. To be steadfast in your habits, in your ways. And remember, in the end of Ramadan, it was not the end, but it was a starting point for all of us to do what? To strive towards to get to Jannah. Strive to get to Jannah. This Quran was sent down as a mercy for all of us, our brothers and our sisters, to love one another, to hold on to the rope of Allah together. We stood in the nights, many of us, in Taraweeh, loving, seeking Allah's mercy, and asking Allah to forgive us. Don't stop doing that. Keep doing it. Why? Because Ramadan never ends. It's just the name in itself. the companions, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Uthman, Khalid bin Walid, Sa'd bin Waqqas, Ubaydullah, Abu Hurairah, Anas bin Malik, and we can go on and on and on. Just look at their lives. There's nobody was better than the companions. None of them. But after the month of Ramadan, their whole life was different every year because they loved Allah. They sacrificed for the sake of Allah. You, me, all of you sisters and brothers, you sacrifice your food, you sacrifice your drink, you sacrifice all of that for the sake of Allah. Now, what should you do? Now you should have learned that I know I can obey Allah. I know I can ask Allah. I can move on and do that which is better than what I did yesterday. So it's upon us, every single one of us, to take advantage and remember, you have come from a place that was very devastating, which was before the month of Ramadan. Now Ramadan is gone, it doesn't mean you stop. It's time for you to move on and learn more and more about this deen. Seek your knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His Quran. Don't put the Quran back on the shelf. Read the Quran every single day. The Quran is a light in your life. One day, someday, Wallahu alam, this Quran will not be with you. The only way this Quran will be with you is in the grave. It's going to be in the grave with you. As one of the righteous predecessors said, you will be in the grave and you will reach up and you say, oh dunya, I cannot see. But the Quran will come to you if you read it and it will say, you need not to see. I will lighten up this grave for you. Because this day, oh Allah, I will be with Him until He meets you. It is upon you to understand that the Quran is what we need in our lives to correct our problems, to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And without it, there is no life. There is no life. Allah, He sent all of this for mercy, for you. Allah don't need it. He did not leave you by yourself. Allah says in the Quran, "Qul anfusikum wa ahlikum nar." Save yourself. Save yourself and your family from what? Al-nar. Because why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to hold you accountable. He's going to hold you accountable. So this day, Allah has favored this deen. He's given you this deen as a mercy. Use it. Take advantage of it. Hold on to it. Celebrate for what Allah has given us. This is a blessed day, the day of Yom Eid, for all of us to know that Allah is pleased with us because we fast for His sake. And Allah said, whoever fasts for me, I will reward them in the next life as well as in this life. May Allah save us and keep us in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Subhanakallah wa hamdik wa shadu la ilaha ant wa astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Alhamdulillah wa alameen wa salatu wa salam wa rasulullah wa ba'd. O you who believe, I have favored this religion and chosen Islam for you. He's chosen this deen of Islam for you. That you should know that my mercy excels my punishment. Let us leave every single one of us, and all of us should have remembered these blessed days and these blessed nights. And let us be patient with what Allah has tested us with. And that there are more blessings to come. And that it is, if you can follow up after the day, inshallah, with the 6 days of Shawwal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you even more. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts Ramadan and then follows it up with the 6 days of Shawwal, it is as if he fasts for a lifetime. For a lifetime. So you don't stop. You keep going on and on and on. Why? Because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's blessings that behind it. If you fast 30 days, inshallah, you can do another 6. You can do Mondays and Thursdays, as the Prophet ﷺ used to do. You can do it. Allah has shown you that it's in you, but you got to have the drive. You have to have the know-how. You have to be a person that strives hard to get to that point and understand. As we've been blessed in this month, wallahi, billahi, we've been blessed in this month. This month was like a spiritual hospital for every single one of us. It was a spiritual hospital, and the medicine was the Quran. It was the Quran, and we had to use that medicine. Don't put the medicine up. The medicine is in the book of Allah. It is the cure for every problem in your life. It will cure all of the problems, but you have to keep taking the medicine. But if you stop taking the medicine, you're going to get sick again. You're going to get sick again because you need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After all of this, Allah has guided us. Don't turn back on your heels. Allah mentioned that in the Quran. Do not turn back on your heels. After what? After I have guided you. Because why? There is no other place to go. This is the only way. The Prophet ﷺ said, he said, hold on to the rope of Allah together. Hold on to the rope of Allah together, every single one of you, and do not be divided. Hold on to the rope of Allah. Why? Because as long as you're divided, people will always conquer you. You have to hold on to the rope of Allah. Meaning what? The Quran. Continuously praying in the house of Allah. Don't let the house of Allah become empty after the month of Ramadan. Because the malakas, the angels, they write down all the names of the people that attend the Jama'ah. They write down the names. Wallahi billahi, every single night you did Tadawiyah, Allah as well had the malakas write it down. But just alone, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever's in the Jama'ah in congregation, 25 to 27 times reward. Who doesn't want that? That's better than any money and any property. Any money and any property. So every believer should be what? Standing in the ranks. Standing in the ranks. Because wallahi, subhanallah, the day is going to come when you're going to be standing in front of Allah by yourself. All your properties, everything you have, you're going to leave it. As one of the righteous, he said, I have a business. They said, yes. He said, I have a business and I have the Quran. He said, I have both of them. And they said, well, what are you going to do with them? He said, I split them up. I split both of them up. They said, what do you mean? He said, with the business, I know I'm not going to have it forever. But he said, with the Quran, I'm going to have that forever. And it's going to follow me. So he said, I split them up and divided. But I keep the one that's going to be with me forever. And that's the Quran. You have to understand that. Wallahi billahi. Because the Quran is the only thing that's going to help you in this life. Every single time you read it, even when you make the mistakes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to give you a double reward. Struggle with that. Don't allow nothing to get in front of the Quran because you need it in your life. It was revealed in the month of Ramadan to do what? To guide every single one of us. To guide every single one of us. And every Muslim around the world. Every Muslim around the world. Poor, rich, whatever. They went through the same thing we went through. Fasting. Fasting for the sake of Allah. Because it was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in conclusion, I say for myself and for you and the brothers and the sisters, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember this day that you were in the house of Allah. Remember this day. Do not forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you forget Allah, Allah will forget you. He will leave you by yourself and you will go astray. Hold on to the rope of Allah together, as the Prophet ﷺ said. In conclusion, he said what? Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Love your brother. After the conclusion of this, hug your brother. Shake his hand. Just last year, Ramadan, we were not in this room. It was empty. Allah tested every single one of us. Many of our brothers and our sisters that died, rahimahullah ta'ala, they died. They left this life. And we are still here. We represent them. We're the custodians of the earth as Allah commanded. So every single one of us shall hold on and do as Allah commanded. Love your brother for the sake of Allah, because it may be his last time you see him during the month of Ramadan. Hug him. Shake his hand. Be happy with your sister and your brother. Anything that you have between each other, the Prophet ﷺ said, let it go. Let it go. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it. Love your brother for the sake of Allah. I say that over and over again because many of us, we have things in our hearts. It's time for us to leave it. We just went through something that was so great, and that was 30 days of fasting. Give up the things for the sake of Allah, and Allah will reward you and your families. Protect your families from this dunya. Hold on to the rope of Allah. Read the Quran every day. Sit down with your wife. Sit down with your children and read the Quran. Wallahi billahi. You will see the light that will come in your face and your children, and you're saving them. You're saving them. Allah's holding all of us account like that. Doesn't matter where you come from. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he said, I created you for me and no one else. And created everything for you, for me. Remember that. Because everything you have, from the morsel of food that you eat in your mouth, from the scratch on your head, the breathing, everything, your hearing, your sight, all of that, these are favors from Allah, and he can take them anytime. Allah has soldiers everywhere. His soldiers are everywhere in the dunya, and they're inside of you, and he can do whatever he wants. He just says, kun for your kun, be it is, and you're gone. Don't trust the dunya, but trust Allah. And Allah will never, wallahi billahi, will never let you down. Never let you down. Love the person for the sake of Allah. May Allah give us His good in this day of the month that we have passed in the Eid. And may Allah bless all of you and your families. Spend time with your wives. Spend time with your children. This is a very blessed day. May Allah reward all of you and keep you all on the Salat al-Mustaqim. Eid Mubarak. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Valiga ba? Wala talaga ang bandar. धूप में नजर आता नहीं बराबर धूप 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 है
हाँ धूप तो अच्छी है
इसमें नजर आता है
आप सन के साथ में है ना तो लाइक पता नहीं वीडियो कैसे आएगी आपको मेरा ख्याल है डार्क कहाँ आ जाए
हाँ हाँ
डार्क आ रही है नहीं सही आ रही है हाँ सही है
इसका फितरा ये देख रहा है ना अनाज वगैरह वो वीडियो बनाया था ना
हाँ माशाल्लाह